the conversations you and I have. Now we're 29 years in, so there's a difference here, but it was really about the generational differences in marriages and conversations, and they all seem to be talking about marriages in these podcasts, and they're all younger folks.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting because, I'm like, seems to be a reoccurring theme. Did you notice that?
Yeah, for sure. Especially a lot of the topics they were discussing was to us different.
Yeah. So it made me start wondering, is this a generational difference in marriages that maybe we're just, kind of like there's the baby boomers and all the different segments, that you have along the way. What are our daughters? Are they all one?
No.
Or are they split?
Some are no.
Gen Z? Oh,
Yes.
Wait, who's Gen Z? I have a terrible time remembering these.
Millennial?
Okay, I don't know.
We don't know.
But the point is, the conversations seem a lot different in what they're concerned with than some of what you and I would think is really just, really? Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
But no, I know, let's be fair. We've got 29 years in, and some of the folks we were watching and catching kind of bits of their podcasts to see what their conversations were like. They were like, 5, 7 years, newer married young folks.
Yeah.
And I think it's the progression. So right now those things are really important to them that they were talking about versus to us.
Yeah.
It was like,
I think, and two, we were just thinking the maturity level is so different in how we think and they think. And like you're saying, stuff that's important to them is to us not.
It was interesting to see they're going through a development stage.
Yeah.
And they're learning marriage.
Yeah.
And we did the same thing. But some of them, so one of the topics was, I think it's funny, and I feel bad for saying this. It's not funny because there are people who feel this way, obviously, but I don't relate at all. The one where the couple was talking about, when's the last time you cried?
Yeah.
When's the last time you cried together? And then when's the last time you cried alone?
Yeah. And these were their people writing in questions for them to answer.
These are questions that people are asking.
Yeah. It's very odd. I don't know. I would not think to ask someone that. When was the last time you cried?
Okay, so let's pause.
Okay.
Let's talk to the audience. If there's anybody out there, we would love to see your questions.
Sure, ask us questions.
Yeah, ask whatever questions you want. We don't claim to be experts by any means, but we do have 29 years and a half.
Yes.
We're just knocking on the door of 30 years. So we have some experience, obviously, mostly by force, baptism by fire type of thing. So we've learned a lot of things, but now looking where we are now, some of these conversations seem interesting to us. Yes. And I think it's a generational thing because in a timeline, because they haven't had all the time in marriage yet.
Right.
Yeah. So the question was, when have you cried? When have I cried? And when have we cried together? How'd you feel about that?
I don't know. It caught me off guard because I'm like, that's such an odd question to ask people. Like, why would you be thinking that? But it was different. And then we started talking about, I don't know. And then we're saying, have we ever cried together?
I mean, I don't practice crying.
You're not. He's definitely not the emotional one. I honestly don't know when the last time I cried, though.
You just made me look like I'm cold and starchy. Okay.
I mean, you're not very emotional.
Okay, so
you're not cold and starchy, but that's, you're just not, you don't cry.
I'm more of the analytical side than an emotional side. So I kind of focus on logic instead of emotion, but you don't either.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know the last time. I mean, I do more than you, obviously, but I don't even
I can't remember the last time I saw you cry.
I remember, I think when my dad was going through a thing last year, and I remember too now. That really bothered me because I was scared something was really bad wrong. But otherwise, I don't just cry all the time. I mean, I used to cry over everything. Movies, weddings, like anytime someone gets married, my kid's doing something good. It's like a proud thing. Like it's not bad cry though.
It's a proud thing?
Yeah, like I'm proud of them. And so I'm happy, not like an upset cry.
I felt like you almost planned to cry.
Oh gosh, no. It just
8
happens.
older you like plan to cry. It's like, I'm going to cry. It's where you cry.
No, and I actually didn't cry at either of the girls' weddings. I was so, Savannah's I did. The oldest I did. But the other two, I kept it together and I talked myself out of it. I really wanted to, but I didn't.
Okay. There's a point, I would say, because obviously I love my daughters and I'm close to them. So, with like Sam,
You got emotional then.
Yeah, I got a little emotional, but it was a long walk.
It was.
So
it was.
That was a little unfair. It was a long walk.
Yeah, it was really long.
My second, no, she's the third. Yeah, Sam's the third. Third daughter.
Third daughter, yeah. Second one to get married, though.
Sabrina, yeah. So Sam, my third daughter to get married, she was, no, third daughter, not third daughter to get married. Second to get married, but my third daughter in sequential order of birth. Anyway, so when we did that one, that was my first experience because Savannah didn't have a big wedding and it was kind of a rush deal, very simple and modest, and the walk was like 2 seconds,
short.
And so the buildup wasn't there. Not that she didn't look beautiful and all that same stuff. It was just completely different. So I do remember that time. I could feel it welling up, as dad. And we had this walk. It was this big, long building. And we had to go, so if this building's like this, we had to go from out these doors all the way around and come down this long, probably 150-foot sidewalk. The length of our house, probably just about maybe-ish. No, not that long. But anyway, and then come around the corner, and then everybody's sitting in their chairs, then walk all the way through them, and then hand her off. So there was a lot more time for build up there. So I remember welling up there, but overall,
I did too, but I didn't boohoo cry.
I expected you to.
I know, but everybody expected me to. But I did. I looked at Michael, her husband, and he was teary, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" And our oldest daughter Savannah was like, "Mom, she's giving me the face. Like, don't do it.
Don't get all sloppy."
And I was like, "Oh!" So I kept it together. I did.
Yeah.
But as far as us crying together,
Soph didn't.
Oh my goodness, no, she did not.
So
our
the
youngest,
baby. She was, what was she, 17 then?
Yeah.
She was 17, and when she cries, when it comes on, it's hard to shut down.
It comes on.
So,
Yes.
I felt bad later, but
she was really.
She's the only one up there, and she was in the wedding. She was in the wedding party, so you have all the ladies standing there, and she started, and I'm going. No.
She was trying. Yeah.
So I'm giving her all the signals. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Poor thing. She was. Yeah.
But we know once she gets going, it's like a train coming and it can't stop.
Faucets
and then it's
are
like,
on.
wow, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So interesting. So I didn't know if either I'm terribly insensitive or it's just maybe it's kind of a generational thing. I mean, I'm sure there's guys out there, and maybe there's guys who can chime in on this if there's any guys who catch this, younger guys, and say, yeah, look, I get it. I kind of the same way. It may just be the way I'm wired.
Well, like the guy that we're talking about, the podcast that we were watching, and he was saying, and it's not
Don't say
bad.
names.
I try not to laugh. No, I won't.
Good people.
Yes, I'm not. No, I'm just saying as far as. It was, I mean, he's super in tune with his emotions, and he said, like, right now he's going through a thing where, he believes if you got to cry it out.
Cry it out.
Get it over with, and you feel better, and maybe you do. I don't, sometimes that's true, but.
That's really strange for me.
Yeah, and he's like a big guy, and you just wouldn't think, like a guy's guy, I don't know, you just wouldn't think that.
Well, we don't know him, so
I mean,
we don't know if he's a guy's guy or what, or a girl's guy, or what kind of guy. What does that even mean?
Well, because of
what's a guy's guy even mean? What he did for his
profession, I don't know. You just assume.
Oh, be careful now.
That's what I'm saying. So anyway, well, don't ask me the questions. Anyway, so it was just interesting because they were talking about crying together, and they're going through, I guess, a lot in their life right now. But
so look. There's
nothing wrong with it. It's just different.
There's a different type of people.
Yeah.
And we're not them.
Right. Well, that's what we were saying.
There are some that I'm sure will relate to them.
Oh, yeah.
And then there are some that I would think would relate to us. And that, we don't do the crying out thing. I don't feel the need to.
I don't either. We don't have a reason to. I mean, if we, they talk about, I guess sometimes if they're, what do they say? Going through like they have little kids and whatnot, and just
stresses and
yeah.
everything. I mean, I understand that that's a tough time,
yeah.
and there's challenges and everything in your marriage, and part of their conversation was challenges in their marriage and stuff, where they had a season, which everyone does.
Yeah.
I mean, how many seasons of that have we had?
A lot.
Not just one.
Yeah.
In almost 30 years, there's been many seasons. You go through it, and we've already seen some of those challenges, in our daughters' marriages, and we watch it, and I know I see them get all upset and everything, but I know, and it's just a thing, it'll pass.
Yeah,
and I'm usually the one like, just let it go. But we didn't do that either.
No.
We didn't let it go like that. So I think what it is it's a different emotional toll, maybe.
Yeah.
At that
when
stage
you're younger,
of marriage.
it's new and
Because they're newer experiences.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a better way to say
That's
it.
probably better.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about that. What was some of the other things we thought? The crying.
The crying.
And just in things, another thing they were talking about was just kind of more, not them, a different couple we were watching, but kind of immaturities and how they think in different ways compared to.
What do you mean?
Like the one about.
I remember saying that, but I don't remember which one.
About
we were popping through several of them.
Being super. Now that I don't want it to come across wrong, because we agree with this in most extent as far as being alone with the opposite gender. That type of stuff.
Yeah. So one of the questions that
someone asked this other couple.
Is it okay to be alone when you're married, to be alone with a person of the opposite sex? Mm-hmm. And it was kind of funny to us because we're like, is this really a question? Because it just seems like it would be common sense. Yeah. You don't play with fire.
Right.
How would you feel if the other person, if someone's saying, well, I'm not really sure. Well, you check yourself and say, how would I feel if my wife's hanging around with some guys or, talking to guys on a regular basis? Now, she did clarify, and we've had these kind of conversations before, that in a business component, now, that doesn't mean you go hang out with women. That's not what I'm saying. So we won't take it that way. Right. But in a business, I have a lot of relationships with women.
Yeah. You have to have conversations.
Yeah. We have meetings and different things. It's just part of our business relationship.
Yeah.
But it's very professional, and we're not, even when there's somebody who may come to an on-site meeting, a woman or female, I have two doors, my office, to two different entries. Both stay open. Yeah, you leave them wide open. Yeah. So there's no interpretation or anything. Yeah. And I even asked them when, like the last time, because I knew we had probably a good hour and a half. This was contract things that we were working through, and it was complications for statement of work, stuff like that. And I even asked him, I said, hey, are you comfortable sitting in my office, or would you prefer we find another environment? Yeah. So.
You're trying to be respectful of their
respectful, and I want to make it very clear that in the professional arena, to respect their feelings, and I know her well. We've worked together for years. She's married as well, but still, it's just a thing that you gotta tread lightly to make sure you're being respectful. But outside of that, it's another whole thing to say. I'm going to hang around my guy friend when you're a woman, or if you're a guy saying, I'm going to go hang out with a female friend of mine.
Like she was saying, they don't even, not even in the car, not by yourselves in a car, just all that kind of
I agree with that.
Stuff. It just,
you don't
want to take any chances of.
Even when you trust each other.
Right.
What do you mean by taking chances?
Of opening, like she was saying, opening the door of any, she said, even though you trust someone, you just put yourself in a situation, you never know what can happen.
When you say trust someone, like you trusting me, or you trusting the person like maybe you were in a car with? No, she made it, sure it was more, I thought she meant like, she even said, even though I trust so-and-so, her husband, she was like, I still wouldn't, I don't think it's a good situation to be put in. Because you're just kind of opening the door to, even though she trusts him, it just... And what if it's not, depending on the state or the relationship that the other person is in, maybe it's not you, but maybe they have a different type of lens they're looking at you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right.
And
So that could be a thing
that's
too.
definitely, yeah, cause for concern.
Now, one of the comments, and I thought this was kind of funny. I get it, to each his own.
Gosh, which one?
The elevator.
Oh, God,
They were mentioning that there's a certain person who, if there is a woman in an elevator and the doors open up and he is going to step in, one woman, they won't take the elevator. And I thought, wow.
I don't know if I go that far, but
maybe I'm super liberal though. Because I thought I was conservative.
Well, what's the difference, I guess, of being in an elevator with someone and being in a car with someone?
I mean, you're done.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're not like, if you're in a car with somebody, would that not be somebody you know that you're chatty with, or your friends or something? There's a relationship.
Yeah, it's a stranger. Like, what are you going to just be like, hey, let's, that's just weird. That's a little over the top, I feel like.
It was over the top for me.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you now. I hope you don't take offense, but I'm hopping on the elevator because I'm not waiting for it to come back.
Right.
Because I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anything else? I'm trying to think of what.
That was kind of weird.
Anything else that
so one of the big questions that it blows my mind is everybody wants to know how frequent they are at having sex.
Yeah. And now this couple that they asked the question to just had a baby recently, like months ago. So that's probably also
What's that matter? Why do you say that?
Because they have more than one little children,
so you mean because
tiredness, exhaustedness, having just dealing with all that new baby stuff and all that.
Well, that's different. I didn't think of it that way. I just thought, everybody seems to be curious, and that's all over. It's all over the place. Why?
I don't know. Why is everybody so interested in everybody else's intimacy?
That's my point.
Intimate life.
Wouldn't you think that you would know, or you should know? It's probably the guys. Let's just say it's probably the guys.
Guys are asking the questions, like right.
The guys who really no. It's the guys putting the pressure on the wives. So the wives are then asking the questions, because they want to know if they're being reasonable, because the guy wants to chase them around the house multiple times a week. I bet you money.
I don't know.
You know that's right. You know it's right.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how other guys are. So, like that, Okay.
Mm-hmm. There are other guys. There are other guys. Yeah, you're getting a little bit personal here. Okay.
Anyway.
The point is, it was funny because everybody wants to talk about, how many times you're intimate per week.
Right.
Didn't we talk about that? We talked something about that.
Yeah, I don't remember. It wasn't like our whole
It wasn't
video,
the point of the conversation,
but
we just touched on it.
We talked about more of how important it is to have that in your marriage, and how important it is for your marriage to have intimacy and be close, and it brings you closer. It was that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's what we talked about.
I mean, we're here,
Okay.
So I think we agreed last conversation. Minimum 4 times a week.
You keep changing it. What was it last time?
Was it 5 times a week? I was trying to lighten up the load.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I know you're changing it, so whatever it was.
So that's why I say it's probably the women, because, women, I think, end up, especially when you got little kids, now examining where they were and looking at the progression. I don't remember when we were younger. Well, depends.
Wait,
I do.
Yeah.
Life was good.
Yeah.
Life was really good. But at some point, I would say, that's a good way to phrase it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, I would say, I understand that the toll and the weight of being a tired mom, and so you stayed home. Mm-hmm. So your perspective was different. I know there's so many things at play in it. This could be a deep, deep topic.
Yeah.
We're not trying to go deep, but I do know, now looking back, the tolls, and I understand the different things that women go through, because I learned them along the way.
Yeah.
Of, you start feeling like you're not that attractive because you're just mom and changing diapers and doing sloppy stuff all the time, and cleaning up the home, whatever. So you were a homemaker, just so people know. So it gives context. And I was gone all day, and then I'd come home and, I'm home, and, expect it to feel like you were excited to see me. And I know that you're excited to see me, and the fact that it was another adult,
Yes, for sure.
back to communicate with. But I don't remember really exactly how our intimacy was or our sex life was.
I don't remember it being, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've always had
I think we've been pretty consistent.
Yeah. Especially like, we've talked after talking to different friends and different things, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
my goodness, like what's wrong with us? Like, because some people really just don't.
Well, everybody
very
wants to know.
often,
So
and
what do you hear?
I've heard
what's the rumor?
months, like some people.
What's in the grapevine of your friends?
I mean, I don't know anymore. It's been a long. We don't talk about this stuff anymore. But
Well, I know, but
it used to be like
you were,
every few
having
months.
conversation. Oh,
like once every
gosh.
couple months, once a month, whatever. Just long bouts of not, and that's what we were saying, how important it is.
That's not healthy.
Yeah. So, and I don't know how common that is. Maybe it's a lot more common than we realize that people just don't take the time or don't. I don't know. They're just too busy in their lives, but we have always tried to make that a priority and a point.
Yeah, because even though it fulfills us differently, it still is an important part of our marriage. So, look, everybody knows guys are different than women.
Yeah.
There's more emotional and there's more physical for the guy. So emotional is more for the female,
Yeah.
it seems. And there are women the opposite too. There are some women who,
sure.
it's more the physical, but I'm not sure that they're the majority of the case, it seems. But I don't know. But just from the people we do know, it seems like a lot of it's fatigue.
Yeah.
And the women lose interest because of fatigue.
Yeah, it's like the last thing on your
men
mind.
feel like that's the recharge and the
Yeah.
connection to their wife, while the wife wants, and we've gone through this, and the wife wants conversation.
Right.
You're like, we don't have to
Right.
talk.
Right.
We don't have to talk at all. we
Yeah.
can just go right to it.
Right to it.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same impact.
Oh no, it's not the same, and it's just like just doing it to get it done.
Yeah.
In that sense, and
I mean, there are times where that's okay, though.
no, I know. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Times, but anyway, yeah, that's
I'm just trying to make sure we're meeting our quota.
crazy. Anyway, it
good.
is true, because sometimes, especially moms, and I mean, I don't know about guys, but you just get their point. Like sometimes it's the last thing on your mind is trying to be intimate and trying to feel like when you don't feel pretty, you don't feel attractive. You just, there's the hard.
Shouldn't there be a component that, I understand, we've talked about both sides, men and women need something different
Yep.
to feel attracted to the other person, or have those types of feelings in the moment. But shouldn't there be an understanding that maybe women should understand? I mean, it's both sides. I know both should understand. So in case some women
I
are
was
be
gonna
like,
say, watch what you're saying.
no, I'm just making one point, and there's a counterpoint on the other side too. But isn't it a good thing? They should be encouraged that their husband wants to be with them, even though oftentimes they feel unattractive sometimes, or they don't feel like, when they're lugging kids around and changing diapers and doing all that stuff, they don't feel, attractive, sexy, and just, and the feeling that it's good for women and men to both have, here and there. It's like, sometimes I'm a t-shirt guy. I wear a t-shirt to work. I do whatever. I can wear whatever I want. I do what I want. But there are times where I step it up a notch and it just makes you feel good. There are times when, you step it up a notch and it makes you feel good. There's a thing to it. So you dress, how you dress oftentimes and how you look will often make you elevate your feeling of confidence and security and some of those things.
Yeah, true.
So I always thought, wouldn't it be encouraging for women to know, look, that's a positive that your husband keeps chasing you around, because that means you may not feel this way, but like in our case, I didn't see as much as what you saw or you went through, but I wouldn't be chasing you around if I wasn't interested and attracted to you.
Yeah, and I didn't think about that at the time, because and you told me that, if I wasn't attracted to you or interested, I wouldn't be. Yeah, so
I wouldn't be chasing you around the house.
It was like a light bulb moment sometimes, because I was like, okay, yeah, that's true. I should be grateful that you do, even though I feel like I look horrible and all these things, and you still want to be with me in that way. So yeah, it does. I should be happy and grateful of that, not the opposite, that you're not attracted to me and want to go look somewhere else, you know?
Yeah. Now, what's the counterpoint on the women's side?
What do you mean the counterpoint? Like as far as what?
Well, so I just gave something that, from a guy's perspective, that should be encouraging to women if they looked at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
What about from
a woman's perspective?
From a woman's perspective. Do you have anything?
As far as like what you were saying, like what I just said, as far as being happy that you still.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much said it.
You don't have nothing?
No. I mean, that's pretty much what I was saying.
Okay. All right. So the point is, yeah, it's challenging either way, but there are statistics all over the web. Mm-hmm. All over the web. So why people are always asking these questions, it kind of...
in the videos, in different podcasts and everything, that's like some of the highest watched videos that people do are the ones on sex life and how to spice up your sex, whatever it could be. Those are like the highest watched videos. Everybody's so interested. I
think some of the best spice, if you want to talk about some spices or some seasoning,
okay, spicy,
is when we spend time together prior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Let me make that clear. So last week, now that reminds me, man, we had some challenges, coming together last week and trying to catch up and just spend some one-on-one time together.
Yeah.
Like our date night, everything was kind of messed up.
Different.
So there are times when it's just we can't get our schedules aligned to come together. So, but last week, I don't remember what we did, but it was just kind of impromptu and we had to grab dinner and stuff. So we'd been doing something. Maybe were we recording?
We did. Yes, we did a video.
And then we ran out of time and we were hungry and we needed to eat and all that. So, we're trying to keep our schedule.
That's when we did the, charcuterie.
Charcuterie board, yeah. So then you made a charcuterie board and none of it was planned.
No.
Was it our date night?
No, it was a Tuesday.
That was Tuesday?
Because you had a free date. There was no kid date night, so
no dates with the daughters. Yeah. Okay, so I had a free Tuesday, which usually every Tuesday is my date with one of the girls. They're all in order.
And this is a free day.
We finished up and I was like, wow, there's one extra Tuesday in this month.
Because we had our grandson all weekend, so we didn't get to do our videos.
Yeah, we were playing catch up. So you just impromptu, we had some smoked salmon and stuff, and you made a little charcuterie board, actually a big one.
A big one.
And we ate too much.
We ate a lot of it.
But it was beautiful, and we went outside on the patio, and it was just us while we watched a couple of the girls stayed inside that felt like we were having private conversations. And I'm like, why don't you come out? And they're like, well, aren't you guys talking? We're like, no, we are, but we're just eating dinner.
Yeah.
But we sat out on the patio, and which we never do. We have a beautiful patio. We built full screen-in patio with a fireplace and everything that we rarely use.
Yeah. If the pollen wasn't so bad half the time, then we would use it.
Well, yeah, it's starting to go away, but still, we just don't use it that much. Yeah. It just
not like we
different
thought.
Ways. Yeah, not like we thought. So, anyway, it was really nice. It was really nice, and it just felt like we had a moment of connection.
Yeah, I like those moments.
Yeah, me too. So going through the business week.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of moments that I think fuel and encourage intimacy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like, like for me, we've talked about before, is I like having conversations and those kind of things that makes me feel closer to you, just catching up and the day-to-day and whatnot, because every night there's something going on. So it makes me feel closer and want to be with you more intimately in that way, just because I feel the closeness.
So if we're answering this question, it really, I think, is less about, hey, how many times do you come together each week?
Yeah.
And probably more about how much effort are you putting into connecting with each other each week?
Yeah. And then the other will follow. I feel like if you put more effort into connecting with your spouse in that kind of way, then the other will follow.
It's a win-win. But outside of that, it's hard to, plan a schedule of, hey, we're going to be intimate X amount of times a week, and that's the schedule.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you would agree and we could make it one of my calendar items,
Oh my gosh.
it would be totally awesome.
Yeah.
I'd be all for it, but it is true. Even for guys, even for me, I do see a difference. One is like having sex, which is still a necessity for, the tension and all the things. It's still good and healthy overall, but one has more intimate or the intimacy side of it, which it's different, and it deepens
totally
our
different.
relationship, and it gives us a deeper connection to each other than just having sex and taking care of the physical aspect of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I never thought of it that way. I'm enlightened.
Really? Oh, I thought of it.
We should do charcuterie like 3 times a week. Okay, I'm just kidding. Whatever I can do to encourage that. Anyway, that's that. So I don't know. Do we have any more?
I don't think so. I was trying to think. We did talk about a lot of this younger generation as far as trying to be equal, making things be equal and stuff like that.
That should probably be another conversation.
That's a whole nother thing. I don't think we have much more on the topic right now.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
I'm Shawn.
I'm Kori.
And this is Conversations Left Behind. If you like this conversation, you can subscribe or like, one of the two.
Leave comments.
Leave comments. You can leave comments.
Yep.
Anything else you want me to say?
Ask questions.
You can ask questions. Anything else you want me to say?
Nope.
That's it. We'll see you next time.